Hi everyone, this is Aveda. I'd like to thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel, Embrace Natural Beauty, where it is my goal to share with you simple tips and techniques that have been helpful to me in my very own natural hair journey that has been over 4.5 years, that have helped me to maintain my hair, to keep it in good condition, and to retain length, which was always my goal. Because I want all of you who are watching to better maintain your hair, to keep it in good condition, and to retain length, if that's your goal, so that you enjoy your hair and embrace natural beauty of your own. And so tonight in this video, what I'd like to do is respond. There were so many comments and questions to a video that I uploaded to YouTube, my YouTube channel, about 2 months ago. The title of that video was Stop Co-washing to Avoid Hair Loss. And at the end of the video, I invited you all to engage in dialogue with me, specifically, on Periscope, and to also write your comments and your questions in the comment section below. And you did. In fact, that video garnered more comments and questions than I have ever received in my whole YouTube career, let's just say. And I've been on YouTube for over 2 years. So it was very exciting for me. And then at the same time, I felt like I could not get enough response to you, and especially with my schedule. Usually I try to respond within the first couple of days, and as the questions and comments continued to come in, I was just amazed. And I really see that this topic was really resonated with so many of you. So I wanted to make sure I took the time to set aside a separate video to respond to the bulk of the questions. Now, there were a lot. So I'm going to do my best to cover those that were asked the most, and those that are pretty much general, that can touch upon any and everyone. The ones that were very specific to your regimen, hopefully you can derive, a better sense of what you need to do based on my responses to the questions that I will be answering in this video. So I thank you for tuning in, and let's get started. So one of the questions that came up frequently is different forms or different methods of clarifying. Because I had mentioned in the previous video that I recommend you use a sulfate shampoo, or shampoo that contains sulfates, and I also mentioned surface acting agents. A number of you had asked about apple cider vinegar rinse, African black soap, and about clays. And so, sure, I said to you, if you are using a cleanser on a regular basis, and I also asked you, do you experience any issues with your scalp? Like, is there any irritation? I asked you about your curl definition and your moisture retention, and I said, if that's working well for you, then that cleanser may be working well for you right now. And so you may not be experiencing, clogging of your follicles. That may be an indication that you're successfully cleansing everything away, because you are seeing good moisture retention and you are getting good curl definition, and you don't have any irritation in your scalp. So if you were able to answer those questions, if those fit within the answer for you, then what's working for you, I would say continue to do that, as long as you're cleansing. Now, for me personally, I've been sharing with you on this channel what's been working for me, and then also what I do with my clients, which range in varying degrees of textures and curl patterns and densities and porosity levels and so forth and so on. And so using a sulfate shampoo for myself or for my clients has worked very successfully with moisturizing. Another question was about sulfate-free shampoos. A number of you had questions about that. Now, when it comes to sulfate-free shampoos, I am very, very skeptical. I'm being honest. There are a lot of shampoos that have not been good at removing the buildup on your hair. It really has to do with your regimen. So there are some really specific things that I wouldn't be able to answer directly for you, because I'm not your stylist. If you were to work with a professional, if you were to go into a salon and have them do your hair and perhaps tell you or let you know that your hair has either a lot of buildup or it was easy to clear off, then that will give you a better indicator, because now you have someone else who's looking at your hair and you're not stuck with trying to figure it out yourself, because I really don't want you in any way harming yourself. So if you can incorporate a professional into that mix, that would be great. I've let you know it works for me. I want to make sure that you're getting, a clean scalp, you're getting good moisture to your hair, and you're getting longevity, with your moisture retention. So, yeah, you can use sulfate-free shampoos. In fact, one of the comments that I received, someone called me out about my staple shampoo, which happens to be the Aveda Damage Remedy. It's a shampoo that I've been using for the entire 4.5 years that I have been natural. It's a shampoo that I started using as a new natural when I tried out all these different product lines at Aveda. And that was the one I gravitated to. I also gravitated to the Aveda Brilliant line, which I've shared with you all as well. And so it just so happens that the Aveda Damage Remedy is a sulfate-free shampoo. It's a mild shampoo, but it doesn't say it on the bottle. It doesn't advertise or promote the fact that it's sulfate-free, but it's a good cleanser and it works well. And I also happen to like the Aveda Brilliant line, which happens to be a shampoo that contains a sulfate. And so that would be a clarifying shampoo. And then I personally don't use a clarifying shampoo on a regular basis in my regimen because I don't have a lot of product buildup. I'm not big on using oils, and I don't add product to my hair on a daily basis. But once that person commented and I verified, I went to Aveda's site and I verified that yes, indeed, my very favorite shampoo that I purchased and started using well before I even thought about sulfates and why are we avoiding sulfates and so forth, that was already grandfathered in. When I found out that yes, it's sulfate free, even though it doesn't advertise it, I immediately incorporated, a clarifying shampoo in my regimen because I really sincerely believe in using sulfates. Now, another question was, what if you have an allergy or an allergic reaction to sulfur? That's clear. If you have an allergy, you need to use something that's going to be, in line with your scalp. That's a serious thing. And I do have a couple of clients who've come to me, to the salon to get their hair done. And I always ask my clients, do you have any scalp irritations? Do you have any issues with your scalp? And they'll let me know that they're allergic to, shampoo or sulfate or anything like that. And for those specific clients, and there have only been 2, and I've done hundreds of heads of hair. So for those individuals, I have used a clay to wash their hair. So my point in all of this is I want you to have the information to make the decisions that's going to be best for you. But my main point for making the video that I put up 2 months ago was specifically focusing on co-washing. And more specific than that is those who use a dedicated conditioner, one that literally says on the bottle to be used after shampooing, that's not meant to be your cleanser. So if you're using that as your main source of cleansing your hair, like weeks on end, you're just piling on and piling on and piling on product, and you're not getting an adequate supply of moisture. And so if you were to incorporate a cleanser, whether it be my favorite, a sulfate shampoo, or even a very good sulfate-free shampoo that's mild but not going to just load on, loads of conditioning agents rather than, cleansing agents. So if you were to use a sulfate-free shampoo that's very good at cleansing, then you're ahead of the game. But if you're just using a conditioner to wash your hair on a regular basis, and then you have to wind up following up with a clarifying, if you were to not successfully remove all of that buildup, because you're going to have a lot of buildup with all the conditioner washing and all the product application, then you could potentially be, getting into a situation where you have the follicles that are being clogged. And so that's what we're trying to avoid. So this question is it safe to co-wash midweek and then still shampoo on wash day? And there were other questions that were similar to this, such as a question about, or a statement of, I need to co-wash during the week, otherwise if I don't do that, then my hair is really dry or something like that. I know I'm skipping around, but it was so similar to the question that I just read. And so when it comes to co-washing, I want to be clear on what I was trying to get across. When you have a regular regimen that includes cleansing at least once a week, and you choose to, in the middle of the week, incorporate a co-wash in order just to get more moisture to your hair because of your activities, or because you feel like your hair is really dry. As long as you are still including a cleansing regimen on a weekly basis, or for some people it's every 2 weeks, again, the idea is that you are not excluding, the cleansing process, or using a conditioner solely for your cleansing process for lengths, for long periods of time. Continuing to conditioner wash, meaning specifically using a conditioner rather than a cleanser, a specified cleanser, is going to create more buildup on your hair and on your scalp. So when you go to actually do a clarify with whatever item you choose to use for your clarify, whether it be an apple cider vinegar rinse or African black soap or a clay, whenever you choose to, or even a sulfate-free shampoo, whenever you choose to use one of those items because you want to avoid using a sulfate shampoo, what you're going to wind up doing is either having to use a lot of one of those sources, which would be the same effect as what you're trying to avoid with the sulfate shampoo for the most part, which is the stripping effect, because you have to keep cleansing in order to remove the buildup. And if you don't keep cleansing, if you don't clarify enough, then you haven't removed the buildup, and so you still are going to experience clogging of your follicles or the hindrance of getting moisture to your hair because you have that barrier. And then another question was, how often should you use a clarifying shampoo? Now again, that's a very specific to your regimen type of question. I would base it on how much you are applying product to your hair. For example, if you're washing your hair every Saturday or every Sunday, and 2 days later you're applying more product as you readjust your hair, whatever you're doing, and then 2 days after that you're applying more product, and then 2 days after that you're applying more product. It would really be based on how much product you're putting on your hair. I would say at the end of that week, with all that product application, that I would recommend clarifying. Now, you may say, well, the products that I'm putting on my hair are water soluble. They really don't, take that much to come off. But my point is, if you're continuing to pile on and pile on and pile on, it's the buildup that causes, the need for clarifying. So I want you to gauge it based on, your actions, based on your work week, how you're applying products, and the things that you're doing, like if you're swimming in chlorine water, if you're doing a lot of cardio in which you're creating a lot of sweat, perspiration, and salts in your scalp. So take all these different things into consideration when you choose how often you need to clarify and use a sulfate shampoo, if you're going to incorporate that into your regimen or not. And if you're using a clarifying shampoo and you see the benefits, a number of you have come and told me, Bane, I'm so happy I saw this video. I've incorporated, either a sulfate-free shampoo when I was using just conditioner, or I've incorporated, a clarifying shampoo where I was just using the sulfate-free shampoo, and you've seen, improvements in your regimen. I'm so happy for you, by the way. And you've asked me, how often should I use the clarifying shampoo? Should I choose it? Should I do it 2 washes every week with a clarifying shampoo, follow up with a moisturizing shampoo? And for those individuals, I said, listen, it really, again, it's based on your product application, but if you are using a clarifying shampoo every week, then 2 washes with a clarifying shampoo may not be necessary. So really, temper it with your conditions, your specifications, and really determine how much. You don't want to be excessive. That's the whole idea. When it comes to clarifying shampoos or sulfate shampoos that contain sulfates, they're supposed to be really good at removing just about everything. But they don't just melt everything away. You still have to scrub it in. So if you are finding that you still have residue, if you still have flaking or something, then go ahead and do a second wash with your clarifying shampoo. But if you're washing your hair every day, you don't need to do 2 washes with a clarifying shampoo. In fact, it's not recommended that you use a clarifying shampoo every day, even if you have oily hair. So for the most part, you most likely would want to use a clarifying shampoo at most once a week, okay? I think I think I got pretty much the bulk of it. If there are any ancillary, questions that were very specific to your regimen, again, that's very specific to your regimen. I'm trying to stay in a general zone to give you a basis that you can work from. And I hope this has been helpful. If there are other questions, which I can't imagine that there wouldn't be, please leave them in the comment section below and we'll see if we can get to that. Hopefully sooner than I did this time. I thank you also for your patience. I love the interaction that you guys had with the previous video that I'm responding to now. And I just want to say that, for those of you who know me, I love to respond. I would respond immediately if time permitted. I have really been busy these past several weeks, really busy in the salon as well as with my schoolwork. Yeah, my schedule has just not permitted. So it is by no means that I'm ignoring anyone. I really do my Periscope faithfully every Sunday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm there to answer questions, and that is a dedicated time that I'm committed to being there to chat with you all. And so coming back to YouTube now was something I was really looking forward to doing as soon as possible. And so I'm glad I was able to do this video, and I'm glad you were able to watch it. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching this video. Share it with others whom you know would be helpful. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. For those of you who are new who came on, it's good to see you and glad to have you on board. And I look forward to chatting with you more. I've got something else coming soon, so stay tuned. And until then, may you enjoy your hair and embrace natural beauty of your own. Take care, everyone.